Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
We are excited today to have Chanelle Tompkins with us. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Hello. Now, you and I have done a few projects together since we met. We've worked with a couple of mutual clients because I do a lot of business coaching, and you, of course, are more than just a virtual assistant. You do a lot more than what that entails. But tell us a little bit about your business.
So my business is Ms. Nelle's Virtual Solutions. It's a play on my name, Chanelle. As a child, my nickname was always Nelle. So now as an adult, I'm Ms. Nelle, of course, but I'm all things admin. I like to say that I am the human ibuprofen for small and mid-sized business owners. No one likes administrative work. It's taxing. It takes a large chunk of your day. And I'm weird. I actually like administrative work. So I like for my clients to delegate to me and let me be that aspirin so you don't have to deal with that headache. And that allows you to focus on building your business and growing it. Maybe it allows you to focus on just your clients, some time you didn't have. And if you don't need that, then it allows you time to focus on your personal life, whether it's your family, a hobby, or whatever. But it's still all about just getting a better balance of work-life balance for small business owners.
That is so great because there are business owners. We didn't start our business rather, in order to do spreadsheets and all the things, right? All the admin things and the cleanup and the digital organization. And you just take that headache. I love how you say the headache away, and you're the aspirin, you're the ibuprofen that
I like to be the human ibuprofen. Yes. Let me help.
Human ibuprofen. Take 2 and call me in the morning.
That part. And it'll all be done. So you definitely won't have a headache.
It is so much fun. So tell me, what are some of the biggest things when you do work with a client? What are some of the ground floor things that most people just don't have organized and right?
So no one is the same is what I've discovered. A lot of times people ask me, well, what do you do or what can you do? And my response is, I can do lots of things. Let's talk about what you are having issues with. So I've had clients that just needed simply their email literally just cleaned up. Because again, as a small business owner, your email piles up. You go in sometimes only looking for what's immediate attention. But all of that spam, or maybe just cold calls, or even a potential client could get lost in the mix because you have so much on your plate. So sometimes it's just as simple as starting out with, let me have access to your email and let me create some rules, create some folders, and that way you can see what needs to be highlighted. And then there's some who, ironically enough, need help with their networking and follow-up. A lot of business owners, especially when they start out, they go to networking events or business meetings or expos, and they meet and greet with so many people. But it's like out of sight, out of mind, right? So they may add them to a database and have the real intention of following up. But again, as a small business owner, you're trying to do it all. So I love that when a client tells me, well, can you just follow up and just see if these people are really interested? Because a lot of times you meet someone, then they're just being polite. But other times, follow up is like the gateway to a great business relationship. So sometimes it's something as simple as that, just following up on their behalf. Again, I'm your background person. No one has to know it's me and not you following up. We're just starting out the conversation. But again, it's always something different. Nobody has been the same out of any of my clients. They've all been something different of what could help them just grow their business or get better organized in their life.
Yeah. So that keeps your job fresh because you get to do different things for different people, and you get to kind of dive into different stuff every time. So you must be highly, highly organized.
I am. Yeah. I am. I like, and ironically, in my business life, I am. Personal life, so. But I pride myself on making sure I stay organized for myself and my clients when it comes to my business. Because again, a lot of people need a virtual assistant or executive assistant for that exact reason. They're not good with organization. They're not organized. So I pride myself on finding tools. I'm old school sometimes. I don't always even use the latest and greatest apps. I
Mm-hmm.
still like a basic Excel spreadsheet sometimes just to keep
Mm-hmm.
myself organized and keep my client organized on the back end. And a lot of times they don't even know what I did to do it. I've just done it. But I
Yeah.
just pride myself on finding a way that works for me and that can translate to them if they need to take it over at any time. But
Mm-hmm.
just to get them better organized and keep them on task and not let things
Yeah.
fall through the cracks, as I say.
Yeah, that is very true. So that's a baseline. Now, I'm sure that you also work on specific projects. Like someone might have a project and they hire you for a set amount of time to help get a project going. Like I
Mhm.
could imagine maybe getting a podcast up and running, or getting a system set for, I don't know, speaker prospecting or things like that. That's also in your wheelhouse? I see you nodding your head for
It,
those of you that are watching the video.
Yes. So ironically, one project I had for a client, and when I tell people, they're like, "I never thought of that." I had a client who literally just needed me to come in her office for a few days a week, and it took us about 2 months to organize her files.
Oh, her
Yes,
physical
something as
files.
simple as that. Her physical files. Her
Mhm.
office files were a mess. They were. She
Mm.
would just keep throwing stuff in the drawer, throwing stuff in the drawer. And she had a basic system she had started with. There was some labeling, but over time, then things were misplaced, or things were crammed in a general, file where it could have been more specific and help her more easily find it. And that's what I
Yeah.
literally did. It took us about 2 months. I would come in certain days, and she
Mhm.
literally would work, be on a Zoom call, video call, whatever, and I'm just in the background twirling away. But something as simple as that, she needed her files organized. And she said to me, I never would have taken the time to really do this. She'd always say, I'll come in on the weekend. Didn't
Yeah,
happen.
it's not gonna
So she
happen.
never would have taken the time to do it. But now that she had her filing system better organized, then it's like, okay, now she's working on just following up with clients, following up with these potential brokers where she could, basically have a
Mhm.
business to business relationship with them.
Mhm.
And it was just a matter of organizing it. And it overflowed into her extra office, actually. And she was like, well, since you got this done so quick, let's go into my old records. And some of that was just throwing out old client files that were outdated. But again, it was piling up. And it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily an eyesore. She just knew it was a tedious task that she kept putting off.
Yeah.
And that was literally a project. She hired me for that. And she says, well, I don't need you day to day. And I told her that's absolutely fine. Again, I was your
Mhm.
human ibuprofen for this one task.
Mhm.
I hope I did a great job. You'll tell others and you'll think of
Yeah.
me the next time you need
And
something.
yeah, next time they get out of sorts, or she has something else for you to come in and help out with, you'll be
Exactly.
there. So I love that. Okay, wonderful. All right, so let's talk about your business from a growth standpoint. Looking back, kind of how did you kind of get your first clients? How do you particularly market or find your business?
So for me, networking has been the key for me.
Mhm.
When I started out, I Googled everything, oh, this is the time where you should post, and you should post three times a week minimum on social media and on this outlet and that outlet. And I absolutely hated it,
Yeah.
but I grinded to do it because that's what everyone was telling me would work. But on top of that, I made a point of going out and finding every networking group that would allow me to come, or happy hour, or business expo, things of that nature. And I discovered networking was my key aspect for my business, for finding business. I could network better than I could market on social media.
Yeah.
So marketing for me became networking. I have the gift
Mhm.
of gab. People tell me, "Oh, your personality." I recall, even if I just
Mhm.
gave a 30-second spiel at a networking event, then later people are coming up like, "I really like what you said," or "I like your enthusiasm. Let's
Mhm.
talk." And that
I
worked
remember
the
that.
best for me.
I remember
Yes.
when I met you. Your smile is infectious. For those of you that are
Thank
watching the
you.
video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it was an
Thank you.
instant connection because you didn't just care about telling me all the things that you could do, because like you said, that would take you forever. But you really were just like, I don't know, it depends on what you need. And you
Exactly.
listen, and you really just, like you said, you have the gift of gab and just talk to people. And you didn't see everybody as a money sign,
No.
somebody that could hire you. You really just were
Mhm.
there to learn more about other people and see where you could maybe jump in and help. So,
Exactly. Because I'm all
yeah,
about, even if you don't want to work with me, let's still stay connected. I may
yeah,
find someone, I may meet someone that needs your services and vice versa.
hmm,
So I'm all about keeping connections, whether you need me or not.
yeah. And actually, for us, I didn't need you, but I had a
No.
client that needed you. And so
Exactly.
two, I think
Yeah.
we've worked with a couple of different people together. So that's wonderful. And talking about that, that's what we call a strategic business alliance. So I'm sure
Hmm.
that you also are trying to find, when you go out networking, that's something you really look for, is who can you connect with that would ultimately lead you to a client. So tell us, who are those kinds of people besides business coaches? Because that's an obvious one for you. But what other types of good business alliances do you look for?
I would say, ironically, I didn't consider this at first, but other virtual assistants. I haven't met many
Ah,
in person,
mhm,
but the thing about it is sometimes they get overloaded or overwhelmed.
mhm, mhm,
And so it's good to have someone else you can refer that you trust and would be,
mhm,
you would trust them enough to say, this is someone I can't take you on right now, but this is someone I trust would be able to help you.
mhm,
And it also comes to like social media managers. I don't really delve into that area, but we can play off each other. Most social media managers actually focus only on social media. So when
mhm.
clients are coming to them and need more of an administrative task, they're going to say, oh, well, I don't do that. I just focus on your social media. Well, now you can
Right.
relay them to me and vice versa. If someone comes to me saying, well, I really just need help with my social media, that's not really my strong suit. That's not one that
Mhm,
I try to take on as far as creating posts and things. But then, okay, now it's a matter of, okay, well, this is a social media person I know would be able
mhm,
to help you. So
mhm,
things like that. And outside of that, really any business owner, because I found that all business owners, at some point, we need each other.
mhm,
We're a small world. It's again, we're like all in ones a lot of times. So it's,
mhm,
to me, I love just meeting any and all business owners because you never know who you will meet and when you may need them, or just a
mhm,
regular conversation that's not even business related. You could be out with friends and they're talking about something, and I go, oh, there's someone in my networking group I should introduce you to, or there's someone in my
mhm,
networking group that was talking about that. One of my best
mhm.
friends is a doctor, and I met someone who was trying to get doctors on their podcast.
Oh,
Didn't even think
perfect.
about that business wise, but I was like, my best friend is one. So I would love to, get you
Yeah.
guys together and introduce you. So to
Mhm.
me, it's just everyday interactions, everyday meetings are always
Yeah.
about, well, let's start here, but let's see where it goes.
Yeah, we often talk about how networking is not an event. It's not a thing, right? It's a
Exactly.
lifestyle.
It is.
I mean, even when you're at church, you're at the grocery store,
Hmm.
you're walking in the mall, you might run across somebody, and you just, conversations can lead to all different kinds of things.
Always.
So it is definitely a lifestyle. If you network for your business, you already know follow up is everything when it comes to growing relationships and driving success. But here's the thing, most of us want to follow up well, we just get stuck. Staying consistent, keeping it personal, making it stand out, it's hard. That's why I use Net Effect IO. It makes follow up simple, cuts through all the noise, and helps me stay on top of every relationship without dropping the ball. I never miss a follow up, and honestly, my network wouldn't be the same without it. So check it out, neteffect.io. And right now, you can use promo code NBG50 for 50% off of your first month. Neteffect.io, your secret weapon to unforgettable follow up. So tell me, with your business, where is this headed? Where is Ms. Nell's headed? Like, what's the ultimate goal? Are you wanting to stay, controlled and just kind of growth, how much you want to do? Or are you planning on having like a team of virtual assistants that you run?
So that's always the question I get. And
Mm-hmm,
I'll be honest with you, I waver with it sometimes. I
mm-hmm,
am super type A and personality wise. So, I take pride in my work and what I
mm-hmm,
do and making sure my clients are fully covered and get the best care and best administrative, talent. However, I'm not averse to building a team because I think Ms. Nels could be something huge.
mm-hmm.
But I won't say that I'm running towards that finish line like, "Oh, well, I have to have a team by this date." I'm
Right.
okay if this remains me for a while. I have great clients right now. I have the
Mm-hmm,
ability to take on a few more, but I love
mm-hmm.
my clients that I have found. I love the
Good.
relationships we build, the trust we have in each other. So
Mm-hmm,
I'm not averse to just staying small
mm-hmm.
for longer than originally anticipated. But when I started out, it
Yeah.
was in 5 years, again, all the books, all the blogs, everything tells you you should be on this track. So it was
Yeah.
in 5 years, I should have a team of this amount of people and this amount of clients. But as I was growing and the years kept going, I realized I didn't need that. I'm not struggling. And I really like the way the direction my business has been taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the old shoulda, woulda, or should, and could, and all those things, and then also the they. It always gets me when people say, "Well,
Yes.
they say." Well, who the heck is they? Right?
Exactly.
Who is they, and what do they even know me? Like, that's
No, exactly.
yeah.
Like it worked for them,
It
not
worked for
me.
them. Yeah,
So
yeah. I don't know that we need to take the opinion of the theys in the world. Yeah. Now let's do talk about AI for just a second, because I know that
okay.
AI has affected some of the virtual assistant type of roles. Have you felt an
Mhm.
impact from that? And what are you doing to make sure you stay relevant in that world?
I have not as yet felt an impact from that because
Hmm.
I use AI on behalf of my clients. They'll even suggest, "Hey, can we check with Chat GPT about this?" And I'm like, "Sure, that's my best friend." So everybody's using it.
Hmm.
I think AI is great, and some people are more, prone to just, "Oh, I'll let AI do it. I'll let AI do my calendar and my scheduling, and maybe even let AI start weeding through my emails." And if that
Hmm.
works for you, that's fine. But I find that for me, again, my personality, my thoroughness, and me making myself available for the schedules my clients
Hmm.
need puts me
Hmm.
one or actually three steps higher than AI. Because while
Yeah.
AI is great, it's still automated.
It's
It's
not a
still just
person. It's not
technology. It's not
personal.
a person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of business, you need that personal touch because,
Hmm.
and it kind of depends on your clientele. If you're dealing with a really younger generation, then AI probably is going to be awesome because that's what they're grown up around. But when you have a middle age and older generation or clients
Hmm.
around there, you're still going to want someone like me because I have a personal touch and they're not
Hmm.
trusting of AI as it is anyway.
Yeah. They want that white glove
So
service. They want that personal
exactly, and
touch.
I pride
Yeah.
myself on providing that. So
Hmm.
I don't think I will be edged out by AI anytime soon. I just think I will be able to utilize it to make my life easier and make it
Right.
easier for me to make my clients' lives easier because I can
Right.
utilize it, but I am still the human touch that's just one step further than what AI could give you.
Yeah. Or like you said, 3 steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, let's do some fun rapid fire stuff, specifically kind of around
Sure.
networking. So, because your business is, you do a lot of processes for people, you help institute different procedures and organization
Mhm.
and things like that. What about follow up for networking? So, you go to an event or you meet some people, and you kind of touched on that for a second, but what is your best tips for follow up with networking?
I will say that I have learned, don't just dump the cards on your desk. I did that at first, and I have clients again that tell me that's why I haven't followed up because I just dumped them on the desk. I make a point of I like the collection of business cards. I actually have a business card little folio that I can keep
Hmm.
them in. But I like the fact of I'll keep them front and center, kind of on the edge of my laptop. And
Hmm.
I try to make a point of within 48 business hours of meeting them, just sending an email or sometimes a text if they say texting me is easier, and just saying, "Hi, this is Chanelle. I met you at such and such event. Just wanted to follow up and see if you're interested in joining on a Zoom, on a coffee chat, whatever works." But the follow-up is the biggest aspect for you,
Hmm. Yeah. I
not
love
letting it go
48
cold.
hours. Yeah. 48
Mhm.
hours. Really important. Really important. Do you do a lot of one on ones in person, or do you like the virtual because it's a time saver for everyone?
I actually like in person.
Hmm.
Again, that's just me. But I understand sometimes our city is huge. We don't want to travel all over the place for a short one-to-one. So if you're in my area, then I'm all for let's meet in person. If you're not in my area, then I love a good Zoom. But
Yeah.
I'm a interactive person. I prefer to meet you in person, and I feel like
Yeah.
I leave a bigger impression in person. And same
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. I think you get to know people a little bit better when you are in person, but sometimes, like you said, time constraints.
Yes.
You live in the greater Charlotte area, so it could take people an hour to get to you. So then that's
Yes.
a three
We
hours
know
out
our
of their
traffic.
day. So
Exactly. So
yeah, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. So, with that in mind, there could be a point where you kind of hit overwhelm with people that you need to follow up with. So, when you think about the networking groups that you are a part of or go to, what's your favorite, quantity or quality? Going deep inside a few groups, or, you know, spreading yourself all over the place and just grabbing as many business cards as you can?
I think it's quality over quantity.
Mhm.
I will say now for a brand new business owner, I get it. You need quantity because you're new, so
Yeah.
you need to meet as many as possible. But once you're able to start focusing on quality, you'll realize that's what's most important, because now you can get a feel when you're at a networking group that allows each person to do like a quick intro. Hone in on that person that, oh, that's one I need to meet, versus just stopping it. Hi, hi, hi.
Yeah.
That's what will build your group and help you expand your business the best. Finding the quality contacts and those people that can be your inner circle to help you expand versus quantity.
Yeah.
But for everyone, it's a little different because,
Yeah.
again, when I started out, I was quantity, but
Yeah.
I quickly saw the value of really focusing on quality, because you'll burn
Quality.
yourself out. Like you say, overwhelming. You can
Yeah.
really
And
burn yourself out, especially if it's a
yeah.
large group.
Yeah. And some of the large groups can take you months to really find those few key people that make a difference in your
Exactly.
business. Yeah. And then also that you can obviously serve into theirs as well. So you
Exactly.
said something interesting. You said, you have to understand, I don't know exactly what words you said, but you need to know who are good connections. So do you have
Mhm.
like and you don't have to tell us what your list is, but do you recommend that people kind of understand what and who they're looking for from a perspective of not just a potential client, but also other, like we were talking about before, good alliance partners, referral partners? Do you have
Definitely.
a list in your head?
I wouldn't say I have a list in my head per se.
Mhm.
Again, I make a point of listening. So I'm not just at a networking event waiting on my turn. I make a point of listening to what others say. And most times it's something they say that like piques my interest, like, oh yeah, I think they would be a good alliance. And it could be, one time it was a person that sells window treatments. I
Oh,
have no
hmm.
idea how we would really, benefit each other, but it was her delivery. And when she talked about her company, and it's a family owned company that had gone back for generations, that just caught my attention. And I thought that may be a good alliance, because
Hmm.
I like people. And so it doesn't hurt to get to know them, because again, you never know where it could go. But for me,
Yeah.
I hone in on what people say when they're introducing themselves and how they introduce themselves. Because a lot of times you
Hmm.
can tell who's there just trying to find money versus who's there
Hmm.
just trying there to make genuine connections. So
Yeah.
it's not a list. I kind of have just a gut feeling and intuition of, that's one I think it would, I should make a point of going to introduce myself, versus, well, they were okay, but if we don't run into each other before I leave, I won't feel too bad about
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because a lot of times you can spot the people who are there prospecting rather
it.
than
Mm-hmm.
networking, and there is a definite
Mm-hmm.
difference, and you can tell right
Yes.
off the bat. And those ones that are there prospecting, whew, they don't get a good reputation, and reputation is
They do
everything,
not.
everything for a
Exactly.
business.
So that's
Yeah.
why I say, again, quality over quantity. So you
Hmm.
don't become one of those that are labeled as just a prospector.
Because we know. And then people talk and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, be careful of that guy. He's going to put you on his list and he's
Exactly.
going to call you every 3 days. And yeah, it kind of get a bad reputation. So, with that in mind, there might be a lot of people listening that are relatively new to networking. So, you mentioned that a good tip is yes, you might have to do some quantity at the beginning, but what's one of a good networking tip for somebody just getting started?
First and foremost, put yourself out there. For
Hmm.
me, yes, I have the gift of gab. Yes, I have the personality, but there are some days where you're just not feeling it. But when you're first starting out, you have to put yourself in the mindset that every opportunity that you don't attempt is a missed opportunity. What's the saying? I think you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Hmm.
So put yourself out there. Look at Eventbrite. What's the other one? Meetup.
Meet up.
Find
Hmm.
business networking groups and just go. Happy hours
Hmm.
are awesome, and go. And again, you may meet a bunch of prospectors that may kind of put you down, but don't give up. Put yourself out there and be continuous with it, because eventually it will pay off. You'll find,
Yeah.
even if you just make that first connection, it will open
Right.
the door, get you more comfortable, and
Hmm.
then you'll see what works, what doesn't work, which groups to aim for, which ones to avoid. but you can't do it if you don't put yourself out there first.
Yeah. And then you find your home. You find a couple of groups that really feel good, and you go deeper in those, and you get to know the people
I did.
in those.
MBG.
Yeah.
I found my home.
Yeah, you did. You found your home. But you also
I
still
did.
go to a couple of other groups as well. What other
I
groups
do.
do you go to in Charlotte?
So I like I can't think of the name of his, I forget the name of his group, but there's one guy, Lou Yang. He has
Uh-huh.
multiple events. I make a point of when I see Lou is hosting an event,
Hmm.
his events are pretty much, they're good quality. I
Okay, good.
still I stop by some BNI meetings sometimes. I have clients who
Hmm.
actually have had me fill in for them.
Hmm.
And I just keep an eye out on certain ones. But my main thing is if I see a happy hour,
Hmm.
Network Charlotte is when they have happy hours and I still make
Hmm.
a point of going. And the Charlotte Chamber has some good events. So although
Yeah,
I haven't necessarily chosen these
joined
groups as
those
my
groups.
home and
Hmm.
joined them like I did with MBG, I still see the relevance of them. I
Yeah,
have contacts that,
yeah,
are like, hey, I haven't seen you here in a while. Yep, I'm coming. Or some reach out. Did you see we're having this event? I did. I plan to be there. So
yeah,
again, it's not about, you're having to join every group. You don't have to.
right.
And
Yeah.
oftentimes paid groups have free events for that reason,
Hmm.
just to still allow you to intermingle and keep
Hmm.
yourself relevant with group members.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we do.
eventually you may join.
Yeah, we have a few
Exactly.
guests are welcome events, and we do a lot of stuff with Network Charlotte as well as with
Exactly.
the Charlotte Area Chamber of Commerce,
Mhm.
where the people who run those groups are members of Network Build Grow. And the way I look at it is those are all good sandboxes to play in, and so we can play in each other's sandboxes
Exactly.
because that's what it's about. And so we love those two groups as well
Mhm.
in the Charlotte area. So, well, this has been a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And we
Thank
will
you.
make sure that everybody has your contact information to be able to get your virtual services and get
Thank
the
you.
aspirin or the ibuprofen, whatever it is that they need to get rid of the headache in their business. And I just want to thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. This was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. See you soon.
All right. Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.